Well, welcome back on this beautiful day today, the last day of May, May 31st, 2024. Glorious day outside, and I'm Jim.
And this is Cheryl. I tell you, I hope it's like this on Sunday.
This is the third consecutive day we've had like this.
It's just
Beautiful.
heavenly.
Yeah,
Heavenly.
can't beat it.
I think I heard you say the other day, if there's weather in heaven, which I imagine there must be some kind of weather, it would be perfect like these last
For
several
me.
days.
But for some people, it would have to be like, snow.
Oh, that's true. All those skiers out there are praying for eternal snow
Yeah.
above the clouds.
Yeah.
But I think of this Eucharistic pilgrimage that's passing through our area these several days.
Mm-hmm.
And we have just been giving the most beautiful weather for people to be outside and take in the beautiful procession and give witness. Oh, it's so powerful. I'll talk a little bit about more later, but I was able to participate a little bit yesterday.
Yeah,
so.
we'll talk about that. Now, we have our gospel reading for this Sunday, of course, is the Feast of Corpus Christi. They give it a longer name now. We just say Corpus Christi, but the Feast of the Body and Blood of the Lord or something.
Yeah.
Corpus Christi. And our reflection days by our friend Father Gary Koch. So we'll start with that. And later on this hour, Father Scott Shaffer, the pastor of St. Joseph's Parish in Toms River, is going to join us and tell us about a couple of big events coming up. One tomorrow, actually, Saturday, and another one later on in June. So we'll get to that. But first, we will pray the gospel for this coming Sunday.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. On the first day of the Feast of Unleavened Bread, when they sacrificed the Passover lamb, Jesus' disciples said to him, "Where do you want us to go and prepare for you to eat the Passover?" He sent two of his disciples and said to them, "Go into the city, and a man will meet you carrying a jar of water. Follow him. Wherever he enters, say to the master of the house, 'The teacher says, where is my guest room where I may eat the Passover with my disciples?' Then he will show you a large upper room, furnished and ready. Make the preparations for us there." The disciples then went off, entered the city, and found it just as he had told them, and they prepared the Passover. While they were eating, he took bread, said the blessing, broke it, gave it to them, and said, "Take it, this is my body." Then he took a cup, gave thanks, and gave it to them, and they all drank from it. He said to them, "This is the blood of the covenant, which will be shed for many. Amen, I say to you, I shall not drink again the fruit of the vine until the day when I drink it new in the kingdom of God." Then, after singing again a hymn, they went out to the Mount of Olives, the gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
Of Eucharistic Revival, inaugurated on the Feast of Corpus Christi in 2022, and culminating this July in Indianapolis with the National Eucharistic Conference. Intended to draw us deeper into the meaning of the Eucharist and a fuller appreciation of the real and physical presence of Jesus Christ with us in the Eucharist, this period of revival has spawned a reinvigoration of fallen away traditions, processions, and devotional practices. We have been challenged to understand, in the words of Blessed Carlo Acutis, the more Eucharist we receive, the more we will become like Jesus, so that on earth we will have a foretaste of heaven. The author of the letter to the Hebrews leads us in this direction, as in the second reading for the solemnity of the Holy Eucharist, he reflects on the meaning of Jesus in light of the ancient Jewish scriptures, sacrifices, and the covenant. He presents in a highly developed analysis of salvation history an understanding of Jesus as a completion and fulfillment of each aspect of God's revelation and promise to Israel since the time of Adam. While the covenant, in each of its expressions in the Old Testament, is the overarching theme of the Bible, we do not tend to think much of this covenant as we reflect on the meaning of our own religious faith. Yet the word covenant is used in each of the readings that we hear this weekend, from Exodus, the letter to the Hebrews, and in the Gospel according to St. Mark. The word covenant is typically thought to mean pact or agreement. We often think of the covenant as a relational agreement between God and Abraham, God and Moses, and God with the people of Israel. In this way, it carries an image similar to the treaties between nations or warring factions. While this meaning works in a theological sense, it does not reflect the original meaning of the Hebrew word berit, which is better translated as to bind or to shackle. With this in mind, the image of the covenant takes on a new dimension, and the entire history of Israel perhaps even a new meaning. God, through Abraham and Moses, binds himself to his people, and through the passion, death, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, binds himself to each and every one of us. To the ancient Israelites, this covenant was realized and most deeply expressed through the law. Moses received the law from God on Mount Sinai and instructed Moses to celebrate with the sprinkling of the blood of the bulls on the people as a sign of that covenant. Here we see the first and clearest prefiguring of the Eucharistic sacrifice in the Old Testament. Yet, we have seemed to lose sight of the importance of the covenantal theology as we enter into the mystery of the Eucharist. St. Mark reminds us that Jesus offered himself for us as a sign of a new covenant. This does not mean that the old covenant has been abrogated. Rather, it more fully realizes, through Christ, an extension of this covenant to all of humanity, and not just to the chosen people of Israel. Jesus uses the Seder, or the Passover meal, a holy day within the Jewish calendar, where they remembered the origins of the covenant, to establish this new covenant, not born of the blood of bulls, but by his own sacrifice, the sacrifice of his own body and his own blood poured out on the cross as a singular sacrifice for our salvation. He offers us his body and his blood present in the Eucharist as the nourishment for the covenant. We are challenged to enter more and more consciously into the mystery of this covenant as we share in the liturgy and receive Holy Communion. We can get easily bored or distracted during the recitation of the anaphora or the Eucharistic prayer, thus falling into an inability to understand the mystery that we are being invited to enter into. The God who created us, who loves us, who through the mystery of the Incarnation entered into this covenant with us through Jesus Christ, having himself first shared that covenant with Abraham and the Israelites, invites us now to a covenantal relationship, not only with him, but through the church with one another. The Eucharist is the deepest sign of that covenant for our community. For the individual Christian who shares the Eucharistic meal, the immediate effects of the covenant can be seen in the richness of the life of faith and the fruits that we bear: love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We must allow this Eucharist to take hold in our lives, enabling us to become ever the instruments of evangelization to the world through the power of Jesus Christ, living within us and drawing us through the Eucharist once again into a foretaste of heaven.
We are one body in Christ, and we do not stand alone.
Oh, there you go. That was Donna.
We are one body.
Donna.
Donna.
I heard
yes.
that Donna is gonna. Actually, most people know her as Dana. Here
Right.
in the U.S., we call her Dana.
That's right.
But
Is she running for president or something?
no, she was on. She was in Parliament, Irish Parliament for a while. But she's getting the from Holy Father, the highest honor a lay person can get. I can't think of
A
the name.
benemerente?
No, that's the second highest.
Oh, prego.
This is the highest honor.
Oh, but for her musical contributions?
I guess everything that, and she was in. She was obviously pro-life, and she was in Parliament.
Just all good,
Yeah.
good things.
Yeah.
That was the theme song for one of the World Youth Days. Early, like maybe Denver?
I think that's this song. That song came out early 2000, 1999, 2000, 2001, around that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's that old already. So were we.
Hey, let's talk about that. But
But you were at the little event yesterday over there at the river, huh?
yes.
Riverside.
Oh my, how powerful! And I knew. So we know of this. We're hearing more and more about it now that it's actually nearing the culmination in Indianapolis. But the Elizabeth Ann Seton route, which started in Connecticut, making its way across the eastern mid-U.S. on its way to Indianapolis, passed right over the Trenton Makes Bridge. It was amazing, and I was able to find parking, which was half of a miracle because not only was there a lot of construction, but there were police cars at many of the intersections with orange cones. They were just protecting the people walking.
Sure.
They left the New Jersey side. They crossed over the bridge. They stopped there and had a little bit of a ceremony because they were handing over the
Blessed
monstrance.
Sacrament to the Archdiocese.
Right,
Yeah.
from New Jersey to Trenton Diocese. And
To
then
the
they were on
Philadelphia.
their way to Holy Trinity Parish, which is just a few blocks away in Morrisville, under the direction of Monsignor Eckert. What a beautiful, just a beautiful witness. And I loved it because as they're walking, they were singing, people were praying. He would stop on the street corners, and this was a priest, I want to say an auxiliary bishop from the Archdiocese of Philadelphia that was there. He looked so familiar, and I know I've seen him on the altar at confirmations here, there, but for the life of me, I can't remember his name. So anyway, he would stop, and everybody would kneel, and he would do a blessing, and they would sing a Eucharistic hymn. And just the reverence and the silence, you're just out on the street. But the best part were the people that were coming out of their homes to stand on the porch looking like, what's going on? What's going
out there,
on?
yeah.
So that was neat. And then they had all the Holy Trinity School. They have a Catholic school there connected to the church. All the students came out and lined the streets.
Oh, they did. Oh, neat.
From the littlest ones up to 8th grade, and they had their beautiful uniforms on. And again, you could hear a pin drop. And they lined the streets as the Eucharistic procession made its way around the corner and entered the front door of the church, filled the church, and that the students went back to school.
Yeah.
So the church was filled with just parishioners and
yeah.
locals, people that came from far and wide. The timing was just right. It was 12:30, maybe lunch hour, or I wanted to go to the evening event in St. Andrews in Newtown, but I had choir rehearsal, so this was perfect for me. And they sang hymns. They did midday prayer, like an official prayer service.
Liturgy hour, yeah.
Liturgy of the Hours. They sang the Eucharistic revival hymn.
Yeah,
like
we didn't have
one
a
of the-
copy of that. Do we have a recording of that?
It's easy to obtain.
We should play it at one point this summer.
Yes.
I don't. We'll have to. I know.
I can definitely get it.
Yeah, we can get it.
And it's on their website. But I'll tell you, I knew it was going to be amazing, but it was just so powerful. It kind of surprised me. It really brought tears to my eyes. It was just so beautiful. So I'm so glad I went, and I wish I could attend more of them. Now, they're still in Philadelphia this Sunday. They'll be at the Cathedral Basilica. They'll have their morning mass there, and a couple of other spots before then they really move on. But my biggest question that then was answered, I thought, are these people, they're 6 or 7, and they are, just lay people, young, and Franciscan friars, and of course the priests transfer the monstrance. And I thought, are they really walking? Like, did they walk from St. Mary of the Pines or the Trenton Cathedral. But there is a van, like a very large van, pulling what looks like a little U-Haul truck, but it's marked in large letters, Eucharistic Revival, and there's a picture of the monstrance. And so they'll get in that little vehicle, they'll drive a little ways, then they get out, and then they'll do their pilgrimage. They'll walk around the block or from one church to another. I believe they literally walked from Holy Trinity to then St. John the Evangelist, which is not terribly far, maybe 3 miles. But then, I'm thinking, okay, they're walking across the Allegheny Mountains. Are they going through those tunnels on the turnpike? No, they will drive a portion. Then they stop, and then they make witness, and they'll have different church services and adoration and all those devotionals. And then they'll all get back in the van. They get their meals, and I'm sure they sleep and get to take a shower or something.
Yeah. Well, the trek from California to Indianapolis, that's like 2/3 of the country.
Right.
You got to go across the Rockies.
So you're physically not walking every step of the way, but they're making a lot of stops and giving witness to a lot of people. I tell you, it's powerful. I know EWTN is making some coverage of it, and specifically, and I'm speaking to our pilgrims, they're going to be at the Shrine of the Blessed Sacrament in Alabama.
In Hanceville.
So the southern route coming up from Texas, going up to Indianapolis passes, is going to stop in Alabama in Hanceville. On June 20th, which is a Thursday, once a month, they have these Adoration Sodality Days, and that happens to be just the way it worked out. It's one of their Sodality Days, and so the pilgrims will be there at the shrine, and EWTN will cover it. So I can't wait to watch that and kind of relive our pilgrimage virtually, and we're talking about virtual, which brings us to our good pastor from Tom's River.
Yeah, we'll have Father Shaffer join us about 7 minutes from now. So.
And they'll be talking about a virtual pilgrimage of Lord. So if you can't participate in these things, God bless the technology that can bring us there.
How many people were actually processing?
Well, there were probably 75 people.
And they all got into a vehicle?
No. So what you have are the local people that will come.
Oh, I see.
So there was a huge group from the New Jersey side that walked with them across the bridge and walked up to that next corner where we had, been a blessing. And then a woman says to me, well, where are they going next? I said, they're continuing on to Holy Trinity. She goes, well, I have to go back the other way because my car is across the bridge. There were families, there were strollers, there were children, but the core group is only 6 or 7 constant pilgrims that started in Connecticut.
And we'll go all the way.
And
they
we'll go
pick up
all
people
the way.
along the way?
And yeah, but then you drop off. Like we had someone in the Diocese of Metuchen that did a 15-mile walk. They were at the cathedral and other outlying churches there in Metuchen, and one day she took
Because
the whole day.
I thought in Metuchen they were going to process from St. Francis Cathedral in Metuchen to New Brunswick.
Right.
Down
so
27.
Some people did. I'm imagining maybe that was one of their bigger walks. And so she did it, and I said, well, then do you have to walk 15 miles back? I'm concerned about the little logistics. She goes, no, you made the reservation. I'm going to be one of the pilgrims, and they arranged for transportation to then take you back to your car. So very, very interesting. So some of the walks are just literally around the block. I think when they're at the Cathedral Basilica, they walk around the block, then they go in the Basilica, they'll have their services and whatnot. Then they're going to walk up to 20th Street, so, several blocks over the
In
way
Philadelphia.
to another church in Philadelphia, St. Patrick's, I think. So some of the walks are shorter, a couple miles, a mile.
It'll be interesting to see how many people actually attend the main event in July in Indianapolis. And I wonder why they chose Indianapolis, because that's really not center country.
No, what would you do, like in the middle of Kansas?
Yeah, like Kansas City or someplace.
Well, they were afraid of landing in Oz. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they can just accommodate them with the whatever arena that everything's going to happen, the actual Congress Hall. But
well, you can get an arena anywhere.
Very interesting. Now in Newtown, again, it was at night, so people are off at St. Andrews, and a friend of mine sent me a video, and the line went as far as you could see. Probably hundreds of people walking, but local people.
Yeah.
And
They
then
should have had a big event at Corpus Christi, Texas.
oh, could you imagine?
That's where it should have happened.
Oh, they're quick.
Maybe it's not as centrally located as
Certainly not, but with a name
map.
like Corpus Christi.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
Or there might be another Corpus Christi somewhere in the country.
Oh, probably.
Fun to go to.
Or a Corpus Christi Parish.
Because
or a-
you've been to Indianapolis. You went to school in Indiana.
I did. I did go to Indianapolis a few times.
Hmm.
Small city,
Yeah.
Midwest
Big
city.
racetrack.
Right. I never saw that.
Yeah, yeah. I think the Jackson 5 is from Indianapolis.
Is that not Detroit?
No, they weren't from Detroit. All right, listen, we'll take a break, and Father Scott Shaffer is going to join us and tell us about some wonderful events taking place at St. Joseph's Parish in Toms River tomorrow and later in the month of June. So you stay where you are, friends. We'll be back with more. Don't go away. Okay, there you
My
go.
goodness. Okay.
Well, a couple big events coming up in June at St. Joseph's Parish in Toms River. And here to tell us all about it is the pastor of St. Joseph's, Father Scott Shaffer. Hey, Father, how are you?
I'm wonderful, Jim. Thanks for having me on.
Hi, Father Scott. How are you this beautiful day?
Isn't it gorgeous? And here I am sitting in my office.
Yeah, us too. But we'll make a quick 15 minutes. But you've got some,
Yeah.
you've got some great things coming up, and we want everybody to know about it so they can make a little local pilgrimage to your church.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's great. This thing tomorrow morning, this Lord's virtual pilgrimage experience, is we're hosting that here tomorrow morning at 9:30 at St. Joseph's Church, and I am really excited about this. I've been to Lourdes a few times, and every time it has been a spiritual experience for me and the other pilgrims that I would bring with me. It is such a special place, and the sanctuary there is lovely. And, of course, the story of Our Lady and reaching out to Bernadette and all of the different things that happened there. But this group is going to come in, and the Lord's Volunteers of America, North American volunteers, and they are presenting a 2-hour virtual pilgrimage experience, which is kind of cool.
Nice.
We know how travel is getting. It's more difficult to make it happen, and people get a little nervous about flying and everything. So
Right.
the folks coming in tomorrow, they'll be able to see, almost like sense what you would there at the shrine. And I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be great.
That's wonderful. And I know a lot of people, when you get to the point where you really feel like I need to go to Lourdes, they might be physically suffering with something or, illness. And it gets harder and harder as we get older to navigate the whole travel experience and, even walking and all that. So this is beautiful to come so close to the healing power of Lourdes without physically having to go overseas. And the first thing that comes to mind always, at least for me, when you say Lourdes, I immediately think of the baths. Now,
Of course.
will they be presenting sort of on a screen, like pictures or a movie or slides?
Yes, there'll be we have the big screens in our church, and you will. It's almost interactive, like you're right there and you're walking through with the other pilgrims there. They're providing Lourdes water. Every person will receive a bottle of that. And they'll have the opportunity to prepare a petition that will then be taken to Lourdes and placed there at the shrine. One of the great things, too, I believe, and that we all have to remember, there is a certain blessing, of course, when you're able to physically be in these holy places. But if we think that God's presence and his healing is limited to a geographic place, that's a kind of a stingy understanding of God's great love. Expect the healing and the wholeness that we seek through his divine grace.
Right.
And but I think this is an opportunity. There's a plenary indulgence that is granted to all the faithful who attend. And, some folks are saying, oh, Father, I really wish I could go, but my son's graduating in the afternoon. I can't. So we will be live streaming it.
Oh, very good. From your parish website or YouTube channel?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, wonderful.
It'll be on our Facebook channel.
On your
We're
Facebook.
St. Joseph, Tom's River.
St. Joseph, Tom's River. And this is tomorrow, and as you mentioned, Father, it begins at 9:30. It's about a 2-hour program. And for those of you who are not familiar with the area, St. Joseph's Church is located at 685 Hooper Avenue in Tom's River, beautiful part of the city. And tomorrow's supposed to be a very nice day as well. So
Yes.
go to the Lourdes virtual pilgrimage experience at St. Joseph's and just spend some time walking around the Tom's River.
That's right. You can
Yeah,
meander.
and we're only 5 miles from the boardwalk. They could go down and bring that holiness to the boardwalk and seaside.
That's right. And it's a free will offering, right, Father? Free will offering.
Yes, yes. It's free for everybody attending.
Okay, so that's the Lord's virtual pilgrimage experience tomorrow at 9:30 at St. Joseph's Church, 685 Hooper Avenue in Toms River. Everybody is welcome. It's for all ages. But then also later on in June, you have another event coming up that we want to share with our listeners, and that's the relics of St. Padre Pio. So tell us about that, Father.
Well, this is, St. Pio has a very special place in our hearts here. As you may know, we have St. Joseph Grade School, and we have Donovan Catholic High School, and we have a large religious education program here as well. Well, one of the favorite places for all of our kids to stop and spend some time in prayer is at the statue of St. Pio, which is just outside of our church. We have a beautiful plaza right there, and the image of St. Pio is it's a beautiful one, but our little ones, right from the pre-kindergarten, 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds in kindergarten, all the way up, that visit to St. Pio has always been a special thing. So when we found out that the relics of St. Pio were going to be made available and that they would come to your parish, right away I got on the phone, and I'm excited to welcome them. So they will be coming here on Thursday, June 20th, and beginning at noontime, there will be veneration and time for prayer in the presence of the relics that they are bringing. I think there's some first-class relics among those that will be coming, and that'll go all throughout the afternoon. And at 6 o'clock, there's a special speaker. Her name is Julia Calandra, and she will be offering a talk called, she calls it a conversation, Encountering St. Pio. And I'm really looking forward to that. Apparently she knew Padre Pio, or her family did, and she has spent an awful lot of time in the promotion of the devotion to St. Pio. And then when she's done speaking, we'll continue with the Holy Mass. And so it'll be from 12 at noon till probably 8 or 8:30 in the evening. And again, all are welcome. It's a free will offering that will be taken up at the Mass. And I think it's a real opportunity for people to meet and learn about this extraordinary saint who is part of our lifetime, a part of our time on this world.
Right, and he's so popular, again, with all ages, Father. Father, you're doing great things there at St. Joseph's. How long have you been pastor there?
I have been here for 12 years.
Okay, all right.
However, it's kind of a weird thing. When I was ordained 35 years ago, my first assignment was here at St. Joseph's.
Okay.
I was here for 5 years, and was around the diocese for a while. And 12 years ago, Bishop McConnell invited me back here.
Beautiful. And it is a beautiful church, a very large church, Father.
It is. And I think your daughter was out here a number of years ago as we were promoting domestic church radio,
One of our
and it's a great place in which to pray.
Yeah.
And I tell you, one of the greatest compliments that I receive is from people who are coming from wherever they might be, and they come and they spend some time. They usually gape a little bit at the size of the church, but then after the liturgy or after the prayer service, the funeral, whatever it may be, I often hear people say, Father, for such a big place, it feels so warm and so welcoming, and it's a great place to pray, and that they would feel the presence of the Holy Spirit. So I take that as the best thing that we could do.
As well you should.
Welcome to God's people, and to provide prayer and prayer opportunities that feed our souls and feed our relationship with our God.
Well,
That's
Father,
beautiful.
you're doing that. And again, friends, we're going to just mention these events and days and times. And tomorrow, Saturday, June 1st. Now, some of you may be listening to the program on Saturday, but if you listen here on Friday or Friday evening, June 1st, Saturday, there will be the Lord's Virtual Pilgrimage Experience at St. Joseph's Church, 685 Hooper Avenue in Toms River, beginning at 9:30 a.m. And the North American Lord's Center is presenting this virtual pilgrimage. So it's, and I think people, you mentioned, Father, people are going to get some Lord's water they can have, some healing
Yes.
Lord's water, which is
And
great.
also going to be a chunk of the rock from the actual grotto.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And the rosary will be prayed, which is beautiful. Everybody's welcome tomorrow, June 1st, 9:30. And then on Thursday, June 20th, the relics of St. Padre Pio will be at St. Joseph's Church beginning at 12 noon. And the Padre Pio Foundation will present this, and you'll be able to venerate the relics. And we, as Cheryl mentioned, we know so many people have a great devotion to Padre Pio. We were actually in San Giovanni Rotondo about 10 or 11 years ago. Very special place. But to bring the relics right here and have an opportunity to venerate them is a very special blessing as well, Father. So thank you, Father Scott Shaffer, for doing that. We appreciate your vocation and all you do in the great events coming up tomorrow and on the 20th of June.
Well, thank you so very much, and I'm really glad to have this opportunity to share the good news with your listeners.
And I will share also, we have a friend in common, and she always spoke so highly of you. And I know everybody knows Eileen, right? You know of whom I speak, the beautiful singer. Eileen.
Oh, yes.
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 She's a lovely singer, and I know she's had a couple of rough years there with, just health challenges. So if I can just submit her name for that Lord's Day, and if you can just find that little piece of paper that might be taken back to Lourdes itself, it would be Eileen. And the last name, am I allowed to say her last name on the air? I don't know. She won't mind. Eileen Meckler. We all know who we're talking about. She's a dear, dear heart and friend for many, many years. She's been there. And I know we all need prayer in one way or the other. So I would like just to offer that up. And again, she always spoke so highly of you. So lovely.
That's really sweet. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Scott. We appreciate it. And anytime you have anything going on, want to let us know about it, please do. We're happy to have you back.
Most certainly. God bless you all.
God bless you, Father.
Have
Thank
a beautiful summer.
All right, friends, you stay where you are. We'll be back in just a moment. Don't go away.
What have you done for your marriage today?
Today, I used the towel that was already damp after my shower so that he would have the dry one.
I called my wife on the phone and I told her, Sue, I love you. And I meant it.
I went from the lobby of my hotel back to our hotel room 5 times to pick up the video camera.
I took time out at lunch to make sure that we had an opportunity to spend time together.
Then to go back and pick up the battery.
What have I done for my marriage today?
Today? What do we do?
It's what did you do?
What did I do? I shopped.
Then to go back and pick up our handbag.
What have I done for my marriage today? I flirted with my husband like when we first got married.
I made the bed for my wife because she usually does, and I even put the pillows in the right place.
Then to go back and look for something she'd forgotten that wasn't in the room either. And I did it with a smile.
What have you done for your marriage today? Try something new to make yours great. For ideas, go to foryourmarriage.org, a message from the Catholic Church.
Is getting more connected to your faith one of your goals for the new year? Then regular reading of the Monitor magazine and TrentonMonitor.com should be part of your action plan. The Monitor, the news media of the Diocese of Trenton, offers readers quality content to inform and inspire, with reports from Rome and around the world and nation, as well as stories of our people, parishes, and schools across Burlington, Mercer, Monmouth, and Ocean counties. Get home delivery of the Monitor magazine and spend time each month looking through page after page of originally written articles and moving photographs that bring our faith to life. Stay up to date at TrentonMonitor.com, where new articles from around the world are posted daily. Become a premium subscriber at the yearly cost of just $30. To learn more and to sign up, go to dioceseoftrenton.org/monitor subscriptions. For more information, call 609-403-7169.
Here is Mother Angelica speaking about Catholic radio.
There's 6 billion people, and we got to reach them all. It's people like you, radio stations like your own, and I hope sincerely that people will support you because we need Catholic radio, we need Catholic television, and if we don't have it, we shall answer to God for that because we are bound by our baptism to spread the good word. We're bound by that.
Won't you help us spread the good word by praying for us and by making a tax-deductible gift payable to Domestic Church Media, P.O. Box 7509, Trenton 08628, or by going to our website and making a secure online donation using your Visa or MasterCard. Please contact us today. God love you.
We need Catholic radio. We are bound by our baptism to spread the good word.
When I was in college, I ended up having a lot of questions about my faith, and I ended up leaving the church. After a series of personal tragedies, I really felt a need to come home to a church, and that's when I came back to the Catholic Church. I never realized before that we get, at every Mass, the Old Testament, the New Testament, the Psalms, and the Gospel. I never realized before it's all biblically based. The Catholic Church is based on the Bible. This is the church that Christ started, and we practice all the sacraments as he gave them to us, and I think that's important. I love getting up and going to church. I love going to Mass. I feel like I get to go to Mass, not like I have to go to Mass. The joy, I have joy in my spirit, I have a lightness in my spirit that I haven't had before. I love the Catholic Church with all my heart, and I can't imagine my life without it. My life is totally different now.
If you've been away from the Catholic Church for whatever reason, we invite you to take another look. Visit CatholicsComeHome.org today.
Okay, well, a few minutes left before we head on that area. Tomorrow weekend is supposed to be a beautiful day.
This has been just an amazing week.
Yeah, the past 3 days. Now, I think Sunday's a little different.
And well, we will pray. We will pray. Many people have the Eucharistic processions on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
I would really like to go to visit their campus. I don't think I was in that church.
St. Joseph's?
I don't think. But I feel like we went down there for something years ago. Do you remember Father Bambrick?
Yep.
But I feel like we were at another place. We were at a dinner.
We were at a dinner in
and
Spring
he
Lake.
was at our table,
Yeah.
and he goes, I'm from, but I don't think I went into the church.
No, I was there, as he mentioned, a number of years ago. We had a presentation, parish visit type of thing. I think we've been broadcast the Mass from, it was a Sunday, I believe, many years ago.
A couple of great events between Lourdes and Padre Pio. You can't miss.
A lot of opportunity for healing.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Wonderful.
You were at Lourdes.
Lourdes, I tell you, if I could ever go back anywhere, although I love to travel, Lourdes would be in the top 5. I was so impressed with the prayerful spirit there. But you stop and think about hundreds of years of people going there and praying and having conversions and going to confession and just the devotion. It just feels like holy ground. I played Mass there. There's a lower church, which is huge. I think it seats 1,500 people, maybe even 2,000. Gigantic outside of the regular church they've got for these huge events that they'll have. And then at night, the Rosary Candlelight Procession, just very, very moving. And you go to the other hall. It's a huge place. One of the halls where they have the confessionals. And it's just this gigantic hallway. I couldn't even count all the confessionals. And you had to wait in line.
Wow.
But, you're moved. You go to places like that.
You should join that, the people who were sponsoring this, the North American Lourdes Society.
Love it.
You volunteer to volunteer at Lourdes. And they must take care of you over there.
Well, I think they take care of you there, but you
pay for your airfare?
Pay for some part of it, but so what? And then you get to greet the
Not
people.
that I'm trying to get rid of you or anything.
Okay. You heard this? I have witnesses.
I'm just saying, you're planning your Rhine River cruise when I die with my insurance money, but instead do this.
Yeah, I would sign up. I think that was the group that took our precious Eileen over there. She traveled with
Oh,
those.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
There was
Well, you put the people in the baths, basically. That's what you're doing, aren't you? Like
but you
putting
can
people
also,
in the water?
those that are maybe in wheelchairs or need assistance in some way, Like for the candlelight procession, you're pushing the people in the wheelchair.
Oh.
You might help them. You might be serving meals in the dormitory style where some of them stay.
Yeah.
You greet them at the airport and help them maneuver. Again, it's difficult maneuvering around. I would do that for sure.
No,
And-
put that
but
on your list.
I'm old.
In case I go first. I know you had your eye on that Rhine River cruise up the Danube or something.
No, I think that's at the bottom of the list.
Oh, it is now?
Yeah. Oh, and with holy sites.
But
you know, you go up the river and you see those castles and big churches. It would be a spectacle.
You get all that poor Jim who just died.
Oh, I'd be praying for you along the way. I'd be toasting you. If
Look at that castle. Yeah, my husband.
Whatever.
Oh, dear. Well, what are you going to do after 39 years? So,
Me and Dr. Daniels will toast you as we're
thank you.
passing the Schloss Castle.
You know, they buried Sinatra with a bottle of Jack Daniels.
Did they really?
Yeah.
Well, that'll be well preserved. That'll be a good vintage.
And
No?
a bottle of Jack Daniels and a roll of dimes.
When we visited his grave in Palm Desert, wasn't there a little empty?
People put little
bottles of
airplane bottles
Yeah,
of
those cute
Jack
little
Daniels on the gravesite. Yeah,
You still have that grass in your pocket?
it's in my tuxedo.
Mhm.
Anytime I do a Sinatra thing, I bring my
And the
Sinatra
grass I'm
with me
referring to is literally blades of green
from
grass
Sinatra's grave,
from his gravesite.
called Sinatra grass.
We should go back there.
Actually, I told my cousin Lori. My cousin Lori lives in Malibu.
Mhm.
Who, when we were in Phoenix this past year, she and her friend came out and visited
Right,
us.
we met.
I said maybe next year we'll meet in Palm Springs.
Yes, 'cause she'll know that area better.
Yeah, she had a house there, I think.
Yeah.
And there is but where the cemetery is, where Sinatra's buried, it's called Cathedral City. I don't know if there's a cathedral there or not. It's called Cathedral City.
Right.
Interesting. But anyway, before we go away, run people again tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. St. Joseph's Parish in Toms River.
On Hooper Avenue,
On
easy
Hooper
to
Avenue.
find.
The Lord's virtual experience, and everybody is welcome. You get a bottle of Lord's water. The rosary is going to be prayed. A presentation on Lord's, so you can, as if you're there in person. So we highly encourage you to do that, friends, because these events. And I'm happy that they reached out to us, Father, and his secretary that reached out to us about promoting this event. So.
Well, yes.
And it's all on our bulletin board. So go to our bulletin board, domesticchurchmedia.org. The top of the screen, click on the bulletin board, and you'll see all this information there on our site.
And as Father said, it's in the morning, 9:30 to 11:30. You then have the rest of the day. You're just 5 miles from the beach. Toms River, there's the lake there, or is part of the bay or something?
Toms River.
Oh, Toms River, I guess so. But I just remember passing through there, and there was a huge walkway, and there are boats there, and like a downtown area. It was just beautiful.
Yeah.
I want to go back and spend some time, but this would be the opportunity tomorrow to then take in a little bit of and the fact that there's a plenary indulgence.
Yeah. So 9:30 tomorrow, St. Joseph's and Toms River, Hooper Avenue. We got to go. Have a great rest of your day, friends. Thanks for being a part of our day, and we'll see you next week.
Have a good weekend.